Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Plant Code podcast. I'm Max, and today I'm joined by the co-founder of ethical fashion platform Address Chic and fashion blogger and lifestyle blogger Shruti Jain. You can find her on Instagram at StyleDestina and her blog www.styledestina.com. Shruti, welcome to the Plant Code podcast.
Hi Max, I'm so glad to be joining you today.
It's great to see you again. We met a few months back and we've been meaning to do this for a while, but finally we got here, so better late than never.
Yep.
So let's get straight into it then. So why did you go vegan?
So I've been a vegetarian all my life, and I also follow a Jain lifestyle, which is the most non-violent lifestyle in the world. And I used to have dairy. That was the only animal food that I would have. But I came across a few videos from PETA, and I saw how the cows were treated for milk. And given the fact that I don't even eat root vegetables because it kills the whole plant, having milk made no sense. So yeah, that was the reason why I switched immediately.
Could you just clarify for us the difference between vegan and Jain? Because it's something that comes up a lot and I don't really have an answer to that.
So basically the difference between veganism and Jain lifestyle is, in today's age, I would say that any true Jain would follow a vegan lifestyle, because you don't treat the cows the way it was treated before. Earlier back in early days, people had cows at their home, most of them, and they would treat cows as a family member. And the calf was treated well, it was given its share of milk, and only when it was left out, it was taken by the people from the family who raised the cow. So there was a complete ethical, fair treatment for the cows. And that was the milk which Jains consumed, which was also not to the extent that we do today in everything. It was just like 1 or 2 glass of milk for the whole day.
Right, absolutely.
But nowadays we are over-consuming it, and aside from over-consumption, there's a really cruel treatment of cows. So yeah.
Yeah, the dairy industry is without doubt one of the cruelest. So at what point did you realize that you didn't want to support this dairy industry anymore?
The moment I saw the video, it was like an immediate switch.
Okay.
It just didn't make sense.
And how many years ago was that?
It's been 5 years now.
Okay, great. And we mentioned in the introduction here about Style Destina and also about your platform, Address Chic. So at what point did you start bringing your vegan lifestyle into fashion?
To be honest, I have always been vegan when it came to my fashion choices. Wool was one thing which I used because I was again not very familiar with how the sheeps were treated for the wool. So I've never used leather in my life, consciously never used silk. So yeah.
That's impressive, because when we think about the animal products used in fashion, what comes to mind straight away is leather and fur, because they're probably the most cruel ones that come to mind. So you're saying from the very young age you've never bought anything that contained leather?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay.
Never consciously. Because earlier, not everything was marked so fairly as it is today. You can see the signs of leather in all the shoes, handbags. You can find the information. Earlier you didn't. So maybe something not consciously, but if I knew something was leather, I would never put my money there.
Wow, that's incredible. Because only recently I managed to get rid of my few final last leather possessions. I donated them, which I'm very proud of. So what does it mean to be into vegan fashion?
So veganism is actually a lifestyle. It's not just about what you put on your plate, but it extends to all aspects of your lifestyle. So what you wear, what your wardrobe, your beauty cabinet, what you're eating, what you have in your house, everything has to be free from animal cruelty to ensure that you are a vegan. When it comes to wardrobe, there are predominantly 6 things which come from animals, which is leather, we all know about it, fur, we all know about it. Things which are often ignored are silk. Silk is actually made from silkworms, which are boiled live. Then you have wool, you have down, and feathers. So vegan fashion is essentially fashion which is free from any animal products.
Okay. Could you explain what down is?
Down is basically duck feather. So in the process, again, the cruel treatment of ducks does not justify the need for down at all. And you have so many alternatives to down these days that you don't really need it.
Okay, and what are these alternatives that
So
you're
there are
talking
synthetic down, there are materials which are made from recycled plastic, which offers a similar kind of insulation to down.
Okay, that's great. And when it comes to fur, which is the one that seems to, everyone is against fur, it seems, these days. Everyone pretends they don't wear it, they don't support it. And the industry does seem to be on the decline. And we've seen a lot of fashion shows that are completely fur-free.
Correct.
What kind of material are they actually using to replace fur these days?
So most of the fur is being replaced with synthetic materials, and I would say that even that is not a very sustainable option when it comes from a sustainable perspective. But from a animal cruelty perspective, synthetic is the best option.
Absolutely, because that is a debate that seems to come up a lot when it comes to sustainability in these products, because leather is terrible when it comes to animal cruelty. Even it is terrible when it comes to the environment as well, because
Correct.
it pollutes a lot, it's very toxic for the waters, but it is a very durable material. And the criticism that a lot of people have towards vegan fashion is that it's just as bad, if not worse, for the environment. What do you think about that?
I would say that leather, like you rightly said, is not sustainable either, because not only it emits toxins, but it also is very bad for people who are treating the leather. They have skin diseases which they cannot get rid of. It causes cancer, so it's really bad from a human exploitation perspective as well. When it comes to vegan leather, fortunately we have so many amazing vegan leather alternatives in the market which are also sustainable. Things like cork, which comes from bark of the cork tree, and it's biodegradable and it's also water resistant. When it comes to durability, it's super durable. I have a vegan cork wallet which I've been using for more than 4 years now, and it's in mint shape.
I also recently got one.
You did?
Yeah, I was
Nice.
very happy with it. And I actually have a discount code with the company that will be in the links to this episode as well. So people can use that. So one thing that seems to be coming up a lot at the moment is pineapple. That's being used as well.
So it's called Pinatex, and it's basically this material. I actually have a handbag made from Pinatex. It's a cellulose fiber which is derived from pineapple leaves. So it's
Okay.
essentially waste which is converted into a plant-based leather, and it's extremely durable, has a beautiful texture, and it imitates leather.
Can I have a look?
Yes, of
Wow,
course.
that's amazing. So this is just pineapple waste, basically.
Correct.
But one of the things that also seems to be criticized in the vegan fashion industry, so you can actually have a look at this, those of you watching this in video format on YouTube or Facebook, this looks very much like a leather bag. It even has veins. So a lot of people criticize the price.
I agree to certain extent. Fabrics like Pinatex, there is also apple leather. Those are a little more expensive because the demand for them is not as much, and they are fairly new materials. So it's just a simple game of volume. The volumes are low, so the prices aren't as budget friendly as we'd like them to be. But then there are options like PU, which is widely available in the market. You have materials made from recycled plastic bottles. You can buy second hand if pricing is something which kind of concerns you. There are so many amazing second hand pre-owned stores which offer beautiful bags and fashion, shoes, everything from clothing, bags, shoes to everything else.
Yeah.
So there are ways you can be vegan no matter what budget you are in. If you want to be vegan as well as sustainable, which is actually the way to go, and budget is of constraint, pre-owned stores are the best. If you are somebody who loves luxury, you have designers like Stella McCartney who offer a vegan friendly fashion. All her bags, shoes, accessories are free from leather. She's yet not free from silk and wool, but other than silk and wool, everything is vegan friendly. So you have vegan fashion available for every budget, no matter what your ethics are, whether you are sustainable in terms of, sustainability is also not a single parameter. It can mean different things to different people. For some people, it's about planet. For others, it could be something related to human exploitation. And for others, it could be human as well as animals. Now, we are only talking about vegan fashion here. But vegan fashion without sustainability does not make sense to me, because if you are cruelty free, you cannot say that I am taking care of the animals, but I am actually exploiting people in the process. Because when you are kind, you are supposed to be kind to everybody, not just animals, but also humans, right? So fast fashion brands are exploiting people. They are paid wages which are as low as $50 a month, which makes no sense to me. When my journey started towards learning about these things, I am slowly transitioning from being just a vegan person to even a more sustainable one, and my wardrobe is just following the course. And honestly, trust me, you need some research to find out brands which are vegan as well as sustainable. And research is needed for any transition you make, whether it is about your diet, whether it is about your health or your wardrobe. But once you do the research and you know about the brands which are kind to the people, the animals, and also the planet, it's not hard to follow a vegan, sustainable lifestyle at all.
Hmm. You touched on a very interesting point, which is the human exploitation of it, because we always discuss the animal exploitation, but most of us are responsible for everything that we consume, and we always put that onto the meat industry and the dairy industry. Of when people do consume animal products, they're supporting these industries, but when we support fast fashion, we're also supporting industries that are exploiting humans
Correct. And the planet.
and the planet as well. So, what are your favorite brands when it comes to sustainability and responsible consuming?
So Stella McCartney is one of my favorite brands. Like I told you, she is not only animal friendly, but she's super sustainable. In fact, Stella is the one who brought the whole concept of sustainability in the luxury industry, and she's been doing it since the day of her inception. So it's not a new concept. It's something that is in its root. It's her roots. So Stella McCartney is one of my favorites. Then you have brands, new age brands like Jan and June. You have Reformation. It's a LA-based sustainable fashion brand. They are not completely vegan friendly, but they have a huge vegan friendly collection. They make things from recycled materials. Everything is made in the US, which is done by paying fair wages to people who make them. So brands like Reformation, Jan and June from Germany, it's another one of my favorites. In fact, I know the owner and she's a very good friend, and they recently presented their collection at a green showroom in Germany, and it was just amazing. So Jan and June is another one of my favorites. There is this brand, there's this vegan fashion store in Berlin, Lovico, and once you go there, you'll find brands like Armed Angels, People Tree, and the whole collection is beautiful. So when it comes to shopping for sustainable and vegan fashion, obviously there's no dearth of option. It's just about doing some research, finding out platforms. If you don't have things in your country, sometimes people say that, okay, I am in Dubai and I don't have options because there are so many brands in Europe or US, for example, but we don't have too many options here. And the ones which are there, like Stella McCartney, are too expensive. So you can always buy online. Most of the stores these days offer, free shipping or a very minimal cost when it comes to international shipping. So you can shop from there. Stores like Lovico, like I just mentioned, our platform, which is called addresschic.com, we also ship worldwide. So you can shop from Address Chic. Reformation ships international. So honestly, it's just a matter of doing some research, making an effort, and once you do that, once you learn about it, things will be very easy.
Yeah, I mean, education, I think, is the key to everything in life, and especially when it comes to veganism as well. And there's a big misconception about vegan fashion is that it has to be ugly.
Absolutely not. We are talking about something which existed maybe 15, 10 years ago, but now, honestly, with the huge growth in the vegan lifestyle, now people are demanding for vegan products, whether it is food or fashion, and even mainstream brands are launching vegan collections. So, for example, if you know H&M, I'm sure. Uh, it's a fast fashion brand, but H&M is making an effort to be more sustainable, and it has this sustainable collection, and they also have a huge vegan friendly options in their sustainable collection, whether it is bags made from pineapple leather Pinatex, which we just talked about, to clothing made from recycled materials. So H&M is one of the brands. Topshop and M&S, Marks and Spencer, recently launched their vegan shoe lines. So it's available, it's everywhere. It's just that you have to learn which are the ones which are offering the options and make an effort to buy
But do you
from
think
them.
these big brands, it's a shift in their conscious in their conscience, or do you think that it's just they're supplying to a growing demand?
I think it's just about supply and demand. So, if we ask for vegan products and if we support brands which are offering vegan products, they are going to give you the supply, right? So, for us as vegans, it's important first to support vegan brands, because if we don't support them, how are they ever going to get to the volume so it becomes affordable for us? And how are they going to go places and ensure that everybody has easy access to sustainable and vegan brands? So for me, it's very important that first, when I want to shop something, I make an effort to support a brand which is sustainable and ethical at the same time, even if it means paying a little extra, because I don't believe in buying too many things. I think that if you're buying something good quality, you can wear it over and over again. So even if you have to pay a little bit extra for it, it doesn't really matter, because over a period of time, that investment is going to give you returns in terms of how when you wear
Yeah.
them.
I mean, I think anyone who's met me or who knows me knows that I'm not into fashion. Anyone who's seen the way that I dress knows that I'm not into fashion. But one of the biggest problems that I have with the fashion industry is that there seems to be a new collection every 3 months. You've
That's
got the
true.
winter collection, the spring collection, the summer collection, and it just goes round and round, pushing
Yeah.
people to consume
Correct.
an endless amount of products. And my question always is, what do they do with those that don't sell? And even luxury brands, they just burn them, they destroy them, and they rather destroy them to keep those prices high rather than give them away, donate them, recycle them.
Yeah. These are the things which is happening in the industry. Unfortunately, I don't think we can do collectively. We can definitely bring a difference, but it starts from us. First, we have to make sure that we support brands which are ethical. We don't get into overindulgence and, like you said, buying clothes every season, wearing your if you have something good and good quality and you wear it over and over again, what difference does it make?
Yeah, but now, especially with social media, Instagram, you have to have a different outfit on every single picture, even if those pictures are, say, taken the same day. So it feels like there's even more of a demand, and people are consuming even more to become lifestyle and fashion models and all these things. It's really tough to get that into people's mindset that you don't have to consume that much.
So, as a, I believe that if it's all about mindset and it's all about education, like we said, and if influencers and celebrities and, people who actually make an influence bring together this topic and educate people about it, things can really change. And nowadays, a lot of social media influencers, including my platform, there are people who repeat their clothes. There is a hashtag for it. It's called hashtag style repeats. And even celebrities like Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle are repeating their outfits, and they're actually showing to the world that there's no harm, there's nothing wrong with repeating your outfits. In fact, it's more chic and it's more sensible, because you invest a lot of time and money into picking an outfit, and if you just wear it once or twice, it's really waste of your time.
Yeah.
More than money, it's a waste of your time. Whenever you go and buy an outfit, do you just go and pick anything? No. We spend a lot of time, energy in selecting each and every outfit. So what's wrong with wearing it over and over again?
I think it's
just
the fear
a
of
pressure.
judgment, isn't it, as well?
It's
The
a fear.
fear of people's judgment, of the people's opinion.
Nobody.
You read the People magazines, and I've seen the articles where it's like, oh, so-and-so is wearing the same dress that she was wearing at this event last year, shame on her.
Correct.
And that's the perception that we have in the People world.
Uh, Things are changing, like I said. What you said is true. You would see, repeating an outfit would be considered a fashion faux pas. But now there are ethical platforms, even larger magazines, which are showing that, okay, so and so celebrity wore this outfit a few years back and she's repeating it again, and it's being praised, because there is a shift. There is this awareness which is slowly growing. It will take some time, but we should not worry about whether how long it will take for that to come in trend. Once you understand the logic behind buying ethical and making sure that you wear it as many times as you can, you should do it.
Absolutely, I agree. And you touched on your platform. So what are you trying to achieve with both Style Destino and Address Chic?
My background is basically wealth management, but I had always been interested in fashion. And Style Destino is a way for me to showcase people that you can be stylish. If you want to get into luxury fashion, you can find good quality luxury products without inflicting any cruelty on animals. So I started blogging, when people didn't know what blogging was. It was almost 10 or 12 years back. And Style Destino was my way of showing people that, everything is possible. It's just that you have to make an effort, because I had friends who were vegetarian. In fact, if you're aware, in India, people, Hindus, they worship cows. But the irony is that those very same people who would worship cows and who would, pray to cows, would wear cow leather.
Yeah, India is one of the biggest exporters of leather in the world.
Exactly, and I just could never understand it. I mean, for me, it's the biggest kind of hypocrisy that you are worshipping an animal and you are actually using a bag made from its skin by butchering them alive. So it just doesn't make sense to me. So I would have those arguments with my friends, and they were like, that, yeah, that's true, but we can't find options. So for me, Style Destino was like a way to show that there are options. It's just that you have to make an effort and be mindful about it. So that's how the journey for Style Destino started. When I was studying in England, like I said, it was easier for me to shop for vegan products, vegan friendly products. But when I got back to India, things were different. You didn't have too many brands back then. Brands would not usually show what materials are used in the shoe or the bags that you were buying from them. So for me, finding vegan products got really difficult. I always had to ask somebody to get from the US or UK these products, because back then international shipping wasn't a very common phenomena. You didn't have many online stores like you have now. So, it got me into thinking that why don't we start a platform wherein people can find curated vegan products which are high quality, and which are also sustainable. And that's how I started my journey for Address Chic, which we started almost four, 4.5, 5 years back. Yes. So, Address Chic is about educating people on one hand through our digital platform, where we talk about vegan fashion, vegan beauty, vegan nutrition, because we want people to know that veganism is not just about what you eat, but it extends to all aspects of your lifestyle. But educating them is one thing. People know about it, but they don't know where to find the options.
Very true, yeah.
Yeah. So we thought that let's educate them, but also offer them information from where they can find these things from, what are the brands which offer these products. So we started with the content, and then we later moved into an online store wherein we curated brands which we liked, which were not just vegan but also ethical.
Oh, excellent. So I'll definitely put a link down below to Address Chic as well. So I'll definitely be having a look, because honestly, you've made me feel guilty about the choices that I make, because it's true, I do my part, I believe, for activism for animals, but then it is completely hypocrisy on my side to then be buying stuff from fast fashion and stuff like that. I mean, I don't buy animal products, but then there's the human exploitation aspect of it, which is always the one that's forgotten, and we have to be compassionate towards ourselves and towards humans as well. But do you see the demand for, let's say, leather decreasing? Because I was doing some research into statistics, and on average, annually, the leather industry produces 18 billion square feet of leather. And that's the equivalent to enough to cover Hong Kong and Singapore together, like cover the whole surface of land. Do you believe these industries are decreasing, or are they still increasing?
Unfortunately, they are actually increasing, and I think one of the main reasons for this is the growing affluence in developing countries like China and India, wherein now people have money and they have access to luxury, and they are spending obsessive amounts of money on designer goods, which is predominantly leather. So it's not on the decrease, but at the same time, the good thing is that now alternatives are growing by the day. Countries like Germany, US, UK, these countries have now realized that leather is bad. A lot of people, about the growth of veganism in these countries. So a lot of people are, shifting to products which are cruelty free when it comes to their wardrobe choices as well. So things are slowly shifting. And I think what we should, as an individual, focus more on is us. If we worry too much about what is happening in the world, we would never be able to bring that transition in our lifestyle. But when we start a change, that change kind of flows down people around us. So if I make sure that I am not supporting any brand which is inflicting cruelty on people, on animals, and the planet, I'm sure I can inspire a few others around me, and then a few others around them, and a few others around them. And that's how the change starts, right?
Absolutely. We need to focus on ourselves and be the change before we expect the whole world to change.
Correct.
And to lead by example. It's so interesting how much of this conversation that we're having relates to meat and dairy industry directly, because it's exactly the same idea of, okay, these products are decreasing slightly in Europe, in North America, but they are on the rise when India and China, we have this rising middle class. And it's interesting how their consumption of meat is also similar to their consumption of
Correct.
leather as well.
Because you have 1.3 billion people in India, which is far more than I think the whole of Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. It's there's half, I think it's about half of that in Europe anyway. So, okay, we've talked about a lot of good vegan brands that are out there. So let's say it's almost September, time for a new wardrobe. Where should people start to do some shopping?
Start with local, most importantly, because for whenever you shop for fashion, the first thing is not only how it looks online, but you want to feel it and you want to wear it and try it and make sure it fits you well. So there are so many local vegan brands, local ethical brands, which would definitely offer vegan alternatives. So start with that. There are ethical trade shows, and there are ethical markets, there are farmers markets. So these kind of markets often have brands which come and showcase their products. In Dubai, like for example, Ripe Market is very famous, and I've seen bamboo t-shirts there a lot.
Really?
Yeah. So bamboo t-shirts are eco-friendly and they're of course vegan. uh, Look for stores in your local malls which are offering products. If you don't have access to, if you don't travel and you don't want to shop online, you can then go to sustainable collection from brands like H&M and Zara. I'm not a big supporter of that, but I think that unless and until these brands don't make a change, nothing will happen, because no matter how many small sustainable brands are coming up in the market, ultimately the biggest producers are the likes of Zara's and H&M's and Forever 21, and if they don't bring a change, it's hard for the fashion industry to change as a whole. So if we show to these brands that we demand sustainable products, we demand vegan products, they have to respond, because ultimately it's all about what the consumers want. So you can support ethical collections from brands like Zara, H&M, Mango. You can look online. A lot of brands offer, I mentioned earlier, a lot of brands offer international shipping. So you can try once or twice from them. You may have to return sometimes because you don't know the fit. Excess in one brand could be S in other. So you may have to, go through a little bit of trouble initially, but once you know which brand fits you well, which size is right for you, things get easier. That's how my journey started, and now I know which brands to shop from, what sizes from which brands fits me, which offers free shipping, which doesn't offer free shipping, who are prompt in responding to your needs, which stores offer easy returns. So once you do all of that, it takes about 6 months for you to do these research, bring a change, and once you're done with it, it's for the whole lifetime that you can make sure that your wardrobe is ethical.
And what would you recommend that people do with their current leather, fur, wool, down products?
For me, as a vegan, having something which is made from leather is an absolute no-go. If you love an animal, would you be wanting to actually wear their skin even if it's from your previous wardrobe? I don't think so. It's downright cruel. And what kind of message are you sending to people around you when you walk in with a leather jacket?
True, you're normalizing that cruelty, aren't you?
Correct.
By wearing it.
So I don't say that you throw it away. If you are able to donate it, I think the best way is to donate it to people. But if budget is of concern to you, there are stores where you can go and sell your pre-owned items. So you can do that. There are platforms wherein you can do clothes swapping. There are lots of pop-up events which has clothes swaps. So you can go to those clothes swap. You can swap your leather jacket with something which is not leather. So there are ways to get rid of them without creating more waste and without hurting your pocket. So I would recommend doing one of those things.
And honestly, do you find it much more expensive, or do you find that there's a balance? Because obviously you're consuming less as well, aren't you, probably, than people generally do? Because I know people, all they do on the days off that they have is go shopping because it's affordable. So do you think we need to change what we buy or how we buy it as well?
Yes, it is important what we buy and how we buy it, because ultimately, if you are creating lots of landfills, it's going to haunt us and the animals. If you have too much microplastics in your water streams, the fish is going to die. So even if you are vegan when it comes to your plate, but your lifestyle does not reflect mindfulness about the planet, you kind of neutralizing the effort that you're making here. So I would say that you have to change your shopping habits. You we not just shopping habits, like it has to extend in every way we consume and every way we contribute something. So yeah.
Well, you've really opened a whole new thought process for me and enlightened me, and I've got a lot of research to do on these things because I'm so far behind, and I realize I am contributing still to so many cruel industries. But that's the thing as well with veganism, is you can apply it to absolutely everything. and it's always about trying to do your best and to continue learning and to continue improving at it as well.
At the same time, I don't think one needs to get overwhelmed by all this information, because it's kind of a journey. You cannot just say that, I turned vegan and I have to do everything at one go. It can be overwhelming for people, and that's the reason so many times people just flounder, because they think that it's just too much happening in their lives and they can't take that kind of pressure.
Okay.
So don't worry about it. Once you know, you can kind of transition slowly and make changes over a period of time.
Next time we do an episode together, I'll be in full vegan, sustainable attire. I promise that will happen in the near future. And also I wanted to touch on another thing, because you use social media very, very well when it comes to these products. Like, if you just look from the outside at your social media, for example, Style Destina, it looks like your lifestyle blogger, fashion blogger, which you are. But then the fact that you're using that to portray such a sustainable and cruelty-free and vegan lifestyle is incredible, because it's only when you start looking into that you see it. So how would you recommend people use social media to promote veganism?
I think social media is a very powerful platform. A lot of people, it's receiving a lot of backlash and criticism these days because of the consumerism that it is promoting, the negative aspects that it is bringing up, things like body issues, like you said earlier, how people don't want to repeat outfits because you see a new post of a person in a new outfit every day. You see people traveling all over the world. So it kind of creates that kind of unhappiness in people. They feel unfulfilled by looking at lives of others. But at the same time, there are people who are bringing in positive change through social media by bringing in this awareness. Honestly, for me, through social media, I learned about the whole ethical aspect of fashion. I was always just concerned about animals, and I didn't know what goes into, I didn't know the dark side of fashion industry when it came to human exploitation, when it came to the result of the materials which are being used, things like polyester, what does it do to the planet. It was only through social media that I learned it. So I think that whoever is using social media, if you use that channel to promote a positive message, it can spiral down and it can create a beautiful change in the world. So instead of just showing the travels that you are doing, you can bring a change in if you love to travel, you can bring a change in the way you travel. You can support a sustainable hotel, for example. You can carry your own reusable bottles when you're traveling, and you can show that against a beautiful backdrop. So you can show people where you're traveling, but at the same time, with every post, you can ensure that you are also spreading a positive message. And that's what I try to do with my channel as well.
Yeah, because the outreach that you have is incredible and that you can gain through social media. And I think what a lot of people who are negative when it comes towards social media, it's you choose what you consume on social media. You're entirely responsible for who you follow, what you follow. So if you're following negative and depressing content, then that's how you're going to feel. Whereas if you follow positive people, like I recommend everyone follow Shruti at Style Destina, because I like what you post and it is inspiring to see this. It's going to impact you as well, isn't it? You're going to reflect that. It's the mirror effect of social media.
Correct. That's true.
So, Shruti, I could talk to you all day about my terrible sense of fashion and how many great tips you have. So what is in fashion nowadays anyway? What are the colors of the season, do you know?
Honestly, I don't follow trends. I just buy whatever I like and whatever suits me. So we can go shopping after this, and yeah.
That is the best advice I think I've ever heard, is just buy whatever you want, whatever you like.
Yeah.
As long as it's vegan.
Of course, and ethical.
Sustainable and ethical. Shruti, thanks for joining me today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here, Max.
I look forward to having you back to discuss so much more. Enjoy the rest of your day. Guys, tune in next week for another episode of the Planet Code podcast. Do follow Shruti on Instagram at Style Destino. There'll be links to everything we mentioned today down below. So do take a look and do shop ethically, sustainably, and vegan. Have a great day.
That's the year that they're saying's our last, unless we make a change now when we gotta be fast. But first we gotta make a shift in what we put in our mouths. See silly billies thinking vegans eating grass on the ground. We talking fast food, yo, it's burgers and fries. And it used to hurt the earth and the birds in the sky, but now they making it with plants, and it's so much better, cause the animals are safe. No more changes in the weather. We better act fast, cause the ice barely freezing. The world's changing quick, so welcome to Planet Vegan. Woo! Damn, man, can you feel that? This place is getting hot. If we wanna save the world, it'll take some work. If you wanna make it better, then take off your shirt, wave it round your head, and jump into the streets. The revolution starts now. Can you feel its heartbeat? If we wanna save the world, man, we better be quick, 'cause we're killing all the piggies and the cows and the chicks. And I gotta be honest, I ain't a fan of our fate, but we can make a change now, and it starts on our plates. All around the world, it's a brand new dance. What you're making out of bodies, yeah, we're making out of plants. We gotta save the pigs and the fishes in the sea, so hold on to your pants, Planet Vegan soon to be. There's a change up in the system, I can feel it in the air, but it benefits us all, there's no need to be scared. We're gonna change the world and we'll do it in a day, so don't fight the future, Planet Vegan's here to stay. If we wanna save the world, it'll take some work. If you wanna make it better, then take off your shirt, wave it round your head, and jump into the streets. The revolution starts now. Can you feel its heartbeat? If we wanna save the world, man, we better be quick, 'cause we're killing all the piggies and the cows and the chicks. And I gotta be honest, I ain't a fan of our fate, but we can make a change now, and it starts on our plates.
Massive forest fires have once again decimated the Californian coastline.
Iceland just held a funeral for the first glacier ever lost in the country's history due to warming weather patterns.
Europe was just hit with the hottest temperatures in recorded history.
Thousands of people are already dying every year from climate change-related issues, and this number is expected to rise exponentially over the coming decades.
Okay, this apocalyptic nightmare is about to be real. Forest fires, oceans flooding, let it fill you with fear. A billion refugees running across the borders in pain, and they're drowning while you're saying you're refusing to change. Slaughterhouses filled with bodies and they're letting out screams, but you're saying it's a lie, that it's only a dream. Let me tell you something, man, the nightmare is real, and you're paying for it daily with your supersized meal.